NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and the Chicago Bulls made, wait for it, approximately 0 moves at the NBA trade deadline. That's right, a big fat 0. Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports, all back at it with another video talking, of course, man, be here to talk about the Chicago Bulls. And folks, I got to tell you, man, I thought the Bulls, maybe they weren't going to make any major moves, but I thought, hey, they can't be looking at this roster top to bottom and not at least make some move, right? But no, I was wrong. AK and ME think this roster is perfect. They think there's not a single thing wrong with this roster. They probably think this roster is a championship contender. And they didn't do a damn thing about it at the deadline. In fact, they were one of the only teams that did not make a single move at the deadline. I'm talking not even cutting a player, adding a player, nothing. I think the Cavs were the only other team that did not make a move. There was only 2 teams. It was the Cavs and the Bulls, and the Cavs are a very good team. They don't need to make any moves. They're much better than the Bulls. So I don't blame the Cavs for not. But yeah, the Bulls, 0 moves. And so I got to think and really sit back and picture or think about the reason why Arturas Karnisovas, VP of Basketball Operations, and Mark Eversley, General Manager of the Chicago Bulls, did not feel like a single move was warranted. Now, in their press conference after the deadline, they said that they were trying to make some deals, but nothing really came to fruition. But I don't believe that's the case. I truly believe that AK and ME don't want to rebuild. I truly believe that. They don't want to rebuild right now and go through that process. Because if they did, or if they wanted to, they would have made these moves a lot sooner. Now think about it. Okay? Zach LaVine, they just extended in the offseason. Okay? Nikola Vucevic is set to be an expiring free agent, and they're already talking about re-signing him to an extension. AK's talked multiple times about making the playoffs and not being sellers at the deadline, instead being buyers. Everything that lines up to where this regime believes that the Bulls are good enough to compete. And they just are not. So this might be one of those things where it's a case of gotta let them fall in the ditch before they realize it was there. Because Bulls fans are literally telling front office that, listen, this team's not going anywhere. There's literally a mediocrity ditch right in front of you. You're just going to fall into that and regret it. And yet AK and ME, blind to the fact, covering their eyes, are willing to fall in that ditch. Because why else would you not start a rebuild? Why else? I saw some, Twitter memes and pictures about the fact that the Bulls raised another banner. Not their 7th championship, folks. It was a continuity banner. Right? Because that's really what this team needs, continuity. Look, I can go down the list of the things that this team needs and has weaknesses in. We can start with interior defense. We can start with defense overall. We can start with the lack of top-level talent in terms of superstars or lack thereof. Like, there are a lot of things missing for this team. But for whatever reason is, AK and ME don't seem to care, and they don't want to rebuild. Because rebuilds in the NBA are hard. They're not like rebuilds in the NFL where you could turn around your team in a year, go from last to first in the division. In the NBA, when you rebuild, you are in purgatory, or I should say you're in the basement of the NBA for a number of years. It's worth it at the end, but you got to suffer through that. And sometimes you got to do that to come out on top. Because at this point, this team's not good enough. But yet they still want to go ahead and continue with it. So, let's see them, have the Bulls make the playoffs, which that's not even a guarantee at this point. They probably aren't even guaranteed for the play-in with the way they've been playing. Even if they make the playoffs, first round exit, and then we'll get the runaround from AK and ME saying that, this team was good enough and we tried and, we're bringing the guys back. Like, you tried it already once. You're going to try it again. After this year, you better not try it anymore. We're already halfway through the season, a little bit more than that. They've made their stake in the sand, saying that they're going to go for it. Fine. But after this season, in the offseason, if there aren't not some serious changes, we are going to be getting on AK and Emmy about this. Because other than not trying to get over the luxury tax, I can't think of another reason, again, why they don't want to go ahead and blow this thing up. And actually, that wouldn't be a reason to blow it up, because that would be a reason where they couldn't bring somebody in. Because if you obviously are trying to stay below the luxury tax, you don't want to pay the extra tax. And we all know that that's been something the Bulls haven't done for years. But yeah, I don't quite get it, folks. I don't quite get it. But I have my theories that I just laid out to you guys, that I think AK and Emmy don't want to rebuild. They don't want to go through that long process. But I'm only going to stand for it for this rest of this season. Because after this season, once the Bulls show their lack of ceiling and show the fact that they're not a championship contender, we will see if they make some major changes. And boy, they need to. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below as always.